Hello and welcome to another episode of Seeds of Greatness with Nana Harrison. I'm so glad you could join me again. Today, I'm talking about this series I've titled Good versus Right. I'm using the story of Cain and Abel as our model story, as we always do. We always pick stories from the Bible and we try to learn from them. So this series has been running. This is the third episode, and so if you've not had a chance to watch the first two episodes, I've left the links down in the description below. Just go back and watch them and be able to catch up with all that we've been talking about with regards to Cain and Abel. Isn't that interesting that this simple story, we are running with it, and there's the third week, and there are more weeks going to come. And so don't go anywhere. I believe that we are all going to be blessed through this episodes. Now, if you have not subscribed to this channel, please do so, and don't forget to click the bell so that you don't miss any of the episodes that will be coming your way. You know, here we build ourselves up, we encourage each other, and we learn, most importantly, from the Bible. And so today we are continuing. Just a recap of previously, we've known that, the world does not revolve around anybody, and that we need to celebrate other people's achievements and all that, irrespective of where they are coming from. We've learned about emotions and the need to manage our emotions and the need to manage situations appropriately so that the situation does not manage us. These are some of the things we've learned previously. And so today we are going forward, but we are not adding new text. We are still staying with the text we've read, putting everything together from Genesis chapter 4, we're from verse 1 all the way to where we ended last week, which was the verse 9. So from verse 1 all the way to verse 9 that we ended last week, we're going to learn some new things. And this is where the meat of this series, part of it, is the good and the right. We've known that Cain and Abel, they are brothers, were born to Adam and his wife Eve. You can read the Bible, Genesis chapter 4, verses 1 all the way. You will know all there is to know about Cain and Abel. But the point here is, you see, this sacrifice that went south for Cain but went well for Abel, you see, brings some things, very crucial things, into mind, that there are good things. You see, there are certain things that are good. Yay, it is good. And there are certain things that are right. You see, Paul said, all things are lawful, but not all things are permissible. It's just like that. You see, there are good things and there are right things. You see, good, something that is good, does not necessarily mean that it is the right thing. So you may be doing something and it might be good. It might not be bad. It might be good. But the question is it the right thing for you to do? For instance, you just saw a friend doing A, B, C, and D, and so you also jumped on board. Is it the right thing that you have to do? Don't forget that we all have our different paths. So are you on your path, or you are in the shadow of somebody else? When you see anything, somebody do anything new, you also jump aboard. Is that really the right thing for you to do? Is that your purpose? What is your purpose? Because your purpose defines what is good or what is right. You see, there are certain things that might be good. You are not doing anything wrong. Well, is it bad for me to also desire this? Well, you saw your friend maybe upgrade their car. They went to buy something bigger, or maybe they went to start something new. Maybe your friend started this fashion line or something, and you also thought, okay, I think I also want to do that. Yeah, it might be good. You might not be doing anything bad, but is it the right thing for you to do? That's the most important thing. Is it the right thing? Because good is not always right. And right might not always look good. That's a bit deep. But process it. Right might not always look good. You see, when Jesus had to be killed, Peter said, oh, they will not agree for anybody. And as a matter of fact, this young man or old man, whichever way, went ahead to even cut off someone's ear. It was good because he was defending his Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. But was it the right thing to do? Because sometimes the thing that you think you are doing that is good might actually be motivated by selfishness. So good, we need to be able to distinguish between what is good and what is right, and understand very simply that certain things might be good, but they are not right. And certain things might be right, but they will not look good. Look at Jesus Christ being crucified on the cross. Such a shameful death. Was it good? It didn't look good, but it was the right thing to do. So that's what I mean by some things, they are good, but they are not right. And some other things, they are right, but they don't look good. But at the end of the day, the latter is better. It is good to be right than to be good. And then we need to understand also that there are standards to follow. Why am I saying this? It is all about Cain and Abel's sacrifice. You see, good and right. Cain offered sacrifice, vegetables. Abel brought an animal to sacrifice. You see, Cain's sacrifice was good, but it wasn't right. You understand? He did a good thing, offering a sacrifice, but it wasn't the right way. And that leads me to the next thing I want to say, that there are standards. Follow. In everything that you seek to do, there are standards. You can't just go about things anyhow. You see, the fact that you've seen someone doing something or flourishing at something does not mean that you can also execute that thing they are doing. You understand? There is an adage, if you go and see a big head chewing nut, you think the nut is soft. You don't know what is going on in their mouth. There are standards to be followed. There are protocols that need to be observed. And we need to pay attention to those. The fact that you are a vegetable farmer or probably vegetarian doesn't mean that your sacrifice to God has to be vegetables. There were protocols. The unfortunate thing is that God had not announced that to them. You see, it's subsequently that we find that a lot of the burnt offerings were all using animals. So in my educated understanding, the reason why Cain's sacrifice was not accepted is not because Cain did not offer, fat, vegetables. But Abel's sacrifice of animal sacrifice was more desired to God. That is the simple explanation, because there is no reason to believe that Cain brought, like I said in the first episode, that there is no evidence that the vegetable or the produce he brought weren't the good ones. If not, why would he be upset? Let's even forget that. That's not even our argument. But the point is this. There are standards to be followed. There are standards to be followed. So when you are thinking of doing something that is good, also go back and ask yourself, what protocol needs to be observed in this? Because if not, many a times we will just make a mistake and make a big mess everywhere. You see, you are on this path, you're going, you're so okay, everything is going okay. Then all of a sudden, something happens and you switch course. Be careful, because it comes at a cost. Everything in this world comes at a cost. Whether it is good or it is right, they all have a cost. Until you really sit down to calculate that cost, you might be doing yourself more harm than good, but you will just not be aware. And so let's understand that there is a difference. And for everything that we seek to do, it is not necessarily about whether this is good, but we need to understand whether it is right and what protocol, what standards, what needs to be done. The standards that need to be done, they are very, very important. Now, doing the right thing requires a lot more sacrifice. That's why a lot of people are not able to do the right thing. We settle for good because we are not ready to make the sacrifice. See, doing the right thing requires a lot of sacrifice. Sometimes it even requires your head. It will require your life, like Jesus did on the cross. That was the right thing for him to do, but it took away his life. So we need to understand that sometimes we just settle on the good because we are not willing to pay the price for the right. But the point is, although it is more expensive to do right, it pays off much better than good. So if good was just going to bring you here, the right will take you up there. The only thing is the cost. It's much more expensive. The cost. That's why you need to always look at your own purpose and then see what you have to do. Because in the case of Cain, if he had known that what God needed was animal sacrifice, he could have just gone to his brother to buy some with his produce, and that would be at the peril or at the mercy of Abel. So Abel would decide, well, maybe give me maybe a house full of vegetables for one sheep for a sacrifice. That would have been the cost for wanting to do the right thing. But doing the good that he did not really land him well. So look, we should always desire to do the right thing. Let's desire to do the right thing. Let's desire to do the right thing. Let's desire to do the right thing. Now, we need to also understand that doing the right thing will not win you people's favor. Those of us who care so much about people's perceptions and what are they going to think? What is this person going to say? What is that person going to do? And all those things. If that is your primary focus, you may not be able to do the right thing. Because, you see, when you are so much about being in the good books of everybody, you end up bending so many things. You see, you bend so many rules to be able to suit everybody. But that is not necessarily right. So doing the right thing, my friend, it will not win you everybody's favor like Abel did. His only crime was that he offered an animal sacrifice to God after even his elder brother had already gone to do his own sacrifice with vegetables. You see, although Abel went to do the right thing, his brother got angry. He was so mad that his face fell. So that means that you doing the right thing, somebody is there. All they are thinking about is, look at this person, see self-righteous person. They think they are the only person who does this. He thinks he's the only person who does this. Some people might even go to wherever just to bring you down, to shut you up, because you are committed to doing the right thing. There's a price you pay for doing right instead of what is just good. But then, just as Paul said, you see, everything is lawful. You can really, as a matter of fact, you can debate anything in your favor. That's why even, let's say, criminals, sometimes if you get a very good lawyer, they win the case for you. Simple. So many criminals are walking about because nobody can really convict them. You see, you can really win in every case. But not everything is permissible. And don't forget, everything has a price. That good you are doing and you think that it's okay. You may be losing something big time. but it will come slowly. But so now the question is it only bad things that come with doing the right thing? Because it looks like all I'm saying is you won't get people's favor. It requires a lot more work and all that. So then we should all settle for doing the good, right? Definitely not. Why? Because doing the right thing, it pays massively. It pays. It pays. It is very rewarding. Look at, even in the case of Abel. See, just one sacrifice Abel offered. He is even mentioned in Hebrews that it was accounted to him as righteousness. So he did the right thing. And although his brother was angry with him to the point that he even murdered him, says his blood was speaking even in the grave. That is what happens. What don't we see? When you go to any organization, the people who stand for the right thing, who say that no, we are not going to bend the rules, everybody will be against them. Oh, they think they are this, they think they are that. But eventually, they are vindicated. When they are not there, everybody says, oh, if this person was here. When they are looking for someone to do something that requires, they require a lot of integrity, is that person they will come and call. Why? Because he's committed to doing the right thing. So you might not see the reward right away, but the benefit of doing the right thing far outweighs just settling for something good. So what I'm leaving with you today is that strive to do right instead of just settling for good. Okay? Try to what? Do right instead of settling for the good. All too soon, my time is up, and thank you for staying with me in this new episode. I believe you've learned one or two things. Please leave your comments. Let me know what you learned. Let's get talking. It's very good when I get to see your comments and I reply if you have questions or there is something more you want to contribute to the discussion. Please leave them in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel and also click the bell so I don't miss any of the subsequent videos that will be coming your way. This series is still running, Good versus Right, and we are using Cain and Abel as our model story. Thank you very much for staying with me, and until we meet again next time, stay blessed. It's been Nana Harrison here on Seeds of Greatness. I'll see you again. Bye.